From PocaTV in Jamaica, welcome to the reprise of Season 1, Episode 10 of PocaTV Live. A reprise because the last one didn't work out technically, but we're going to do it all over again. So if you're ready for it, here we go. My special guest today is LIVESTRONG Ambassador Annemieke Janssens. Here we go, people.
Give me this. Give me that. Give me this.
So, hi, everybody. Welcome again from my, what shall we say, improvised studio in PocaTV, Jamaica, where I'm spending the winter months because, let's be fair, who wants to be in a cold country at this time of year and in this pandemic and everything else? So I'm here. It's a glorious day now. It started out quite cool. We even had a little bit of rain. You might hear some knocking in the neighborhood. People are building houses. Or somebody starts to mow their lawn, and it's Jamaica, so we have to do with what we got, and that's how we're going to do it this hour. It's the reprise of Season 1, Episode 10. Remember, in October, I started out a program with LIVESTRONG Ambassador Annemieke Janssens, and for some strange reason, we had a technical fluke and we had to abort the show and rescheduled it for today. So here we are now. I'll get to Annemieke as soon as I can, but you all know that I always livicate these programs to my sister Aisha, who was the person who actually thought up the idea of going live on PocaTV, even when that really was not a technical option. This is a picture of her and me going to the premiere of a musical in which her child was one of the stars. And we went to a very snazzy theater in Amsterdam in the Netherlands wearing our long dresses. She was already ill at the time, but nobody could tell from the pictures. We had a wonderful time, and her son was, like I said, one of the stars of the musical Mandela. So yes, Aisha, even from Jamaica, we will always keep on livicating these live programs to you. And by the way, just in case you didn't know, your son Jimmy was here recently to visit Mom and myself for Christmas and New Year. So I know that was one of your big wishes to have him back here, and it happened. So yeah, I know you're still sitting on my shoulder watching everything I do, but I just thought I'd let you know this. Aisha, forever. To be honest, my guest today is linked to Aisha, but I'll get to that when I do. First of all, let me tell you that, it's time for me to welcome everybody else who's watching, all my special viewers, my people who join every month. And I know you missed me at the end of December, but that was New Year's Eve, and I know nobody was going to watch, so I skipped that one. This is the first one this year, actually a reprise from last year, and I'll be telling you more on how Season 2 will start at the end of this month. So join in. Do send us your comments, and if you're watching a rerun, I still like comments. So wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, just let us know what you thought about the program. Annemieke Janssens, as I said, I will get to her in just a little while, but as the regular viewers possibly know, I always show a clip from the last episode. And last time, which was in November, I had a very special guest called Andrea Voets, who is a classically trained musician. She plays the harp, and she also came up with the concept of musical journalism, which is not what you would think. In fact, let her explain to you what musical journalism is. Here's a clip from November.
it's not stories about music. This is really important. It
Exactly.
is never doing it like, oh, I went to this concert and I liked it or not. But the amazing thing is now, after 5 years of doing this, I do notice that there is this magical network of musicians all over the world, and we have access to each other. And I often end up interviewing musicians, but not about music. And we don't
Because
even
musicians are people too. They all have a story
and
to tell.
and I have a feeling that often musicians are not interviewed that well.
No, they're not, because everybody wants to know who was your example,
Yeah.
and are you somebody's fan? And that's what people usually ask. I never ask a musician what
Yeah,
his sources are, and I always
That's
talk
why-
about life. And the
Yeah,
same with
that's-
writers, actually.
Exactly. And people always think, oh, music, especially nowadays, as though we are not political. And
Yeah.
that's a big difference. So in our last, so Wings and Roots, the musicians there, each of them have 3 nationalities. That's why they could be interviewed. And they make the most amazing cultural social analysis. And we don't talk about music. No, we play.
So that was last episode of PocaTV Live, Andrea Voets telling us about musical journalism. It was a fascinating program. I suggest that you look it up on PocaTV on YouTube or on Facebook and have a look at that program, because it was really, really, really fascinating. So time now to introduce to you my new guest, my old new guest, my new guest. And she is based in the Netherlands, which is where I will be joining her now from Jamaica. Please welcome Annemieke Janssens. Hi there, Annemieke.
Hi, Aldit.
It's so great to have you back.
I'm happy to be back, and we hope for a better show this time.
Yes. Well, you know what? The contents were great last time. It was just that we had a little sound problem, which I'm pretty sure is going to go pretty well this time. First of all, I've been here for quite a number of weeks already. How's life in the Netherlands at this moment?
Life in the Netherlands is cold and dreary, and you should be so happy to be in Jamaica.
Okay, I won't rub it in, Annemieke. I'll just send you love and light.
Thank you.
And hope it works out.
Thank you.
Yes. So as I was saying at the beginning of the program, you and I actually were linked through Aisha, my sister, who departed more than 10 years ago, almost 11 actually.
Yes.
You knew her on Twitter, and through your acquaintance, you and I got linked at some point.
Yes.
And there are more similarities between you and me, and I hope we can get through them in this upcoming hour, or whatever it takes for us to do your story, Annemieke.
Great. Well, you know that I visited you and your family when Aisha was really ill. I still wear my purple scarf in honor of her, but I know purple was her favorite color, right?
Exactly, which is why I'm sitting in the big purple chair here as well. Yes.
Of course.
So there's a lot to tell about you, Annemieke. I suggest we get straight in, and you know the drill. You send me a bunch of pictures and didn't tell me the stories that go with the pictures. So let's just take them one by one, and we'll talk about them. And of course, there's a few surprises along the way, but we'll get to those when we do. Here's picture number 1. This is you, and I suspect it's family, your parents, your brother,
my parents,
maybe.
and my oldest brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when was this? What kind of baby were you? What kind of family?
I was the middle child. I'm the only daughter in a family of 3, so I have 2 brothers. I was born in 1961, and this was just after I was born. And the picture in the middle is my mom and dad on their first date.
Do you know where they went?
I think it was Breda, but I'm not totally sure, but I think it was.
All right. So you being the middle child and the only girl, were you spoiled rotten?
No, I was a typical middle child, right? The one with the least attention, and not that I wasn't loved or my parents didn't care for me, but a typical middle child, right?
Yeah.
The youngest one always gets the most attention. The oldest one is the child they have to learn things with, right? So I was a quiet child in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you a serious little girl? What kind of girl were you?
I was pretty serious. I hardly ever got into trouble. I mean, that was not me. And people didn't notice me so often, except when I started to play music and be a twirler. And that was my way of expressing myself and being there.
Right. Let's move on a little in time because this I'm seeing a little active girl on your birthday. I presume blowing out a candle.
Blowing out a candle, riding a bike, which came in handy later on with Livestrong, of course, and walking in the snow with my mom. In that time, we did have winters, right? All that we don't know that anymore, but at that time we did have winters, and I loved the snow.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Please explain to somebody who really could not understand what is the great thing about snow.
The great thing about snow is that it's as a child you can go and ride your sleigh, make a snowman, throw snowballs, stuff like that. That's totally amazing. And
get
when
cold
you
and get wet.
get cold, but as a child you don't care. I mean, you go home, you take off your clothes, you sit in front of the fireplace, and it's just awesome. When you get older, you realize that getting to work is difficult with snow, and it's getting more yucky, but when you're a child, it was awesome.
Okay, so I'll grant you that. I'm seeing you on a bike with your doll, playing by yourself, I notice.
Yes, I could play very well by myself. The neighborhood didn't have that many children, so this was way before my school days.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a great backyard, and I was very happy playing there and making up stories and making up games, and that was fine for me. Yeah.
Active
was a lot of fun.
imagination.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm seeing a couple of comments coming in already, Annemieke. Let's see. Here is, I wonder who this is. Do you know this person? Something for, well, whatever. We don't know
no
them.
idea. No.
Well, okay. Well, thank you for your comment. And here is Maria Kaldenhoven, who is actually my cousin. First of all, she said it's a great intro and she loves it. And then she says, well, big up Aisha, as we always do. Thank you, Maria, for watching. Do. Yes, we always do. Moving on in the pictures, you mentioned it already. This is you a slight bit older, twirling.
Yes.
Great legs, Annemieke. Great legs.
Thank you. You know, people say that more often. I never believe them, but I heard it more often. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I was a twirler from like 7 up. And then after I stopped being an active twirler. I taught twirling. I taught my own twirl team later on. Mm-hmm. And I went on to be a judge nationally and internationally too.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Yes.
I have a little bad news to tell you because your voice is cracking up a little, Annemieke.
Oh.
And I wonder what that could be because we tested it properly.
We tested it.
Yes.
I have my mic here now. Is that better?
It isn't.
Can you hear me better now?
No, I can't. So can you do the same thing that we tried earlier? You go to that settings thing and choose the second. Try choosing the second microphone that you had there. Go to the settings and audio.
I did it. Is this better?
It is. Let me see. Hold it there. Are you back with me?
I'm back with you.
I think this is better. Let's try this.
Okay, let's try this one.
All right. So you were telling me you were active twirler. You were even a judge in competition. But we also see you wearing some sort of folkloric clothing. What's the story behind that?
That's a beautiful Czech outfit, which we bought in Prague. And that was in the time, I'm also a singer. I used to play the flute, play the accordion, but I'm also a singer. And at that time, I sang in the band of my youngest brother, and they specialized in Czech music.
Why Czech?
As we were, that's very upbeat, happy music, and that was very popular in that kind of bands in that kind of days. So we went on vacation in Prague, and we came out with this beautiful outfit, and it was for sale. And we felt very bad because the people only wanted 100 guilders for it, which was nothing to us.
Yeah.
That was a month's worth of living for them. So we brought that back, and when we went on stage, I wore that uniform. I needed someone to help me to put it on because you can't do that yourself. But
It looks like a very hot costume.
that too, yes, very hot.
So
Very uncomfortable.
I really don't want to put people on the spot, but do you still remember any of those tunes that you guys used to sing?
Not very much. No, because that
No.
was kind of difficult. I went to school and studied the Czech language for 2 years
You
in order
did?
to be able to, yeah. But that's a very difficult language for us.
Yeah,
So
it's
I can't say I can still speak it. It was good when it lasted, but no.
okay. Well, all the better for you because I would have then asked you to sing a piece, and now you can't because you don't remember, right?
No, and my voice is, I'm having a cold, so my voice is gone as well. So
Okay,
you
enough
wouldn't have
excuses
liked
not
it.
to do it. Never
No.
mind, never mind. A quick hello from DJ Conscious who's watching us. Hi there, DJ Conscious. Hope you're fine. I know you're looking at the same weather as I am. So welcome to the show again, DJ Conscious. Remember the very first episode of Poca TV Live ever was with DJ Conscious. Just go to YouTube and find all the live programs and check out if there's anything you'd like to see there, because we do like your views, people. That's what it's all about. So happy to have DJ Conscious with us. Annemieke, so here you are, this happy child um, with an active imagination and a good family, active, twirling, dancing, singing. And then suddenly, yeah, something happened in life which brought you to crutches. What happened?
Yes, life changed completely on that day. I
Hmm.
got hit by a car um, while crossing at a traffic light. So I waited for the light to go green, as we usually do. And I started crossing the road, and this car came and ran a red light and hit me uh, on my right leg. And that shattered it from my hip to my ankle.
Wow.
So
Your entire
23,
leg shattered from your hip to
it's
your
shattered.
ankle.
Yes, from my ankle, from my hip to my ankle. So there was, yeah, that was kind of devastating. And the strange part was that we didn't notice straight away.
Hmm.
I flew to the United States the day after with my mom to visit my American sister who had her first baby boy. And when I came back, well, my knee still hurt a little, so I went to the doctors. And I ended up in a hospital from an international school I was teaching at that point. And they took an X-ray, and then they noticed that it was completely shattered, and
So
that I had been,
you
yeah,
traveled from the Netherlands to the United States,
to
which is 6, 7, 8 hours of flight, not
in the
knowing you had
plane.
a shattered leg. That could have gone
No,
horribly wrong.
that could have gone. The least bit of pressure on that leg could have caused me to lose it completely. Yes,
Well, thank God that didn't happen.
that didn't happen.
So you
I have a
ended up,
guardian angel too.
yes, you do. So that means you ended up in a hospital in the United States.
No, I ended up in the hospital here when I got back home because that's when I went to the doctor.
Wow.
And I, yes, and then I went to the doctors at an international school I was teaching at that moment. And because the hospitals in the Netherlands couldn't see me for another 6 weeks. And well, 23 surgeries later, I'm still capable to walk on crutches. If I do
23.
23 operations later, they
Wow.
put a frame in my leg uh, that keeps the bone together because that's totally gone. And I'm able to control the frame because of my dancing. I have very strong muscles, but it means I do exercises 2 hours and 45 minutes every morning and every evening to be able to walk. But I
I
still
know,
can't.
I know you do that, and you do that late at night or very early morning, Annemieke. Sometimes I see you send out a tweet of you doing exercises, and I'm thinking I still have to go to bed, and she's up already. How does that work?
I wake up, I get up at 3:15 in the morning because I start work at 7.
Right.
So if I get up at 3:15, do my exercises for 2 hours and 45 minutes, I'm right on time to go to work.
My goodness. You need to tell me also about this gentleman in the picture, because I believe he plays a very big role in this whole story. Tell us about him.
Yes, that's the surgeon that came up with the solution of putting the frame in my leg and who did all the surgeries and ended up being my husband later on.
Wow.
Yes, yes, I married my surgeon.
You
That's-
married your surgeon.
Yes,
What's his name?
Eric
Eric.
was his name. Eric
Was his name? Yes, because he too has passed on, hasn't he?
Yes, we lost him. Yes,
I'm so sorry to hear that. When did that happen, Annemieke?
he passed away in 2014.
14.
Yes,
So that
quite
means
a while.
yes, but still, it's what is it, 7, 8 years? That means you lost the person who got you back together and who you loved. That must have been very
Yes.
hard.
That was very difficult. Ever
Can-
since he died, it kept me from singing for very many years. I didn't feel, well, singing is something you do from your heart with a lot of joy, and I couldn't do it. I sang
No.
at his funeral, and that was the last time.
You sang at his funeral. Wow. I
Yeah,
don't know.
he wanted
I don't
me
even
to.
know how you could have managed that.
Well, I couldn't talk for 3 days afterwards, but he wanted that, and I did it. Yeah.
Well, rest in peace, Eric. And well, he's up there with many people that you and I love. And let's hope that it's COVID free at least up there. What do you
Yes,
think?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to feel up there.
I
It
think it's
must be.
COVID free too.
It
Yes.
must be. Yeah.
I'm seeing people responding to your story so far. Here's DJ Conscious again saying, "What a strong survivor you are. Props to you. Credits."
Thank
And
you.
he's also saying it's a heartbreaking story, which I totally agree with. And Maria, who was with us earlier, says, "Thanks so much for sharing your powerful and unbelievable story." And I
Thank you.
subscribe to that. Um, yes. So this changed your life, this accident, because I know now that you are still not crutch free. I know you're a lot more mobile than you were in those days. Tell us about your situation now.
Well, I'm still able to walk on crutches if I do my exercises. I do have a wheelchair, which I sometimes need to use if I overdid it a bit, and I tend to do that sometimes. Then I pay the price a day later, but it's usually worth it. I mean, you make that decision. You know it's gonna hurt, and you know you're gonna pay for it. But sometimes it's just worth to do that.
So what keeps you
So,
going? What keeps you in this frame of mind that you just continue going on?
well, what's the alternative? Sit home? Feel sad for yourself? I mean, I'm not sad. I have a lot of medical issues. I mean, besides the leg, I have lots of medical issues. But no, but it's not going to do me any good to sit home, feel sorry for myself, and stop living. I mean, I have to live for free. I have to live average life as well, right? So that's just not me. And
No,
of course, I have days that I think, why me? But why not is the question.
that's the second question. Why not? Exactly.
Yes.
Most people forget to ask that. I'm going to ask you again to choose another microphone. Let's try the number 3 again.
I'm changing.
At least
I'm
you're
getting
becoming
good at this.
you're a real pro at this, Annemieke. I really
I'm
appreciate it.
getting good at this.
I'm changed. Is that better?
It is for now, so we can keep on doing this. It sounds great now. Like we were saying, it never stopped you. You know, the turn your life took, the turns that your life took never stopped you from going on. And we will definitely get into all the fantastic stuff you do in which you actually sublimate all the tragedy that's gone on in your life and put it to good use. We'll get into that. But Annemieke, you're a regular viewer of this program. You know there is a section in the program called On the Spot, in which I ask you 5 questions, and I will not let you elaborate. You need to choose 1 or the other of
Or
the
the other.
answers I give you. And at the end of the whole round, I'll ask you to elaborate on 2. So, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1 of the 5 quick questions. I think you've answered it already, but let's try. Summer or winter?
Summer now.
Summer now.
Yes.
Yes. As a child, it would have been winter with all the snow, probably.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Question number 2. Social media, 10 years ago or now?
10 years ago.
Okay, hold the thought. Maybe you get to choose which ones you elaborate on. Question number 3. The Netherlands are a mess. Yes or no?
Yes.
Interesting. Number 4. Getting a bit harder here. No more church or no more live strong work?
I can choose.
You have to choose, Annemieke. Everybody
I
has
have
to
to
choose.
choose.
Yes.
No more LIVESTRONG.
No more live strong. All right. And number 5, finally, what is the one thing, Annemieke Janssens, that you would never, ever, ever, ever do again?
Never ever do again. Ride a roller coaster. I hated that.
You're not the first one to tell me that, I remember Kabuma at Karoo said the same thing in September.
Yes.
No more
Yes.
roller coasters.
No more roller coaster.
I often wonder why people even try in the first place. But
Yes.
people feel the need for a buzz, probably. I guess that's it. Which 2 of these 5 questions would you like to elaborate on? So we got summer or winter, social media 10 years ago or now, Netherlands are a mess, no more church or no more live strong work, and the one thing you'd never do again.
3 and 4.
3 and 4. So the Netherlands are a mess. You said yes.
Yes.
Why?
Because I think it is right now. Because of all things going on with COVID, people vaccinated and not vaccinated, it's causing a rift in society. And it's getting worse and worse every day. And that makes it a mess. People don't respect each other's choices and try to, they get nasty, right?
Yeah.
If people are vaccinated, they're called sheep following, blindly following the leaders. And if they're not, they are accused of not caring about other people and just caring about themselves and their pleasures. And the gap is getting bigger and bigger, and that worries me. And
Yes.
that's the mess we're in right now.
So what's the solution according to you?
Well, I think the people should be the solution. I mean, respect each other. I'm fully vaccinated. With my health, I need to. But if people don't want to, that's their good right. But people should also accept the consequences of their choices.
Yeah.
And you see it happening now with Djokovic. He chooses not to be vaccinated. But on the other hand, he insists on playing in Australia, where the rules are quite clear. If you're not vaccinated, you can't.
Right.
Well, if you choose not to be vaccinated, you don't play.
I believe I read this morning
as simple as that.
Yes, I believe they're going to, kick him out of Australia. That's what I read this morning.
Yes.
So how is that news falling in the Netherlands? Are people excited about it or what?
I don't think they follow it. It's more like they mind the talk of his father, who compared him to being as badly off as Jesus Christ. He's treated as bad as Jesus was when he was crucified. Well, that's a bit much. I mean,
that's putting it mildly.
I think, mildly. So I think people are more upset about that than about the fact that he's not allowed to play.
Right. Now you mentioned the fact that people are. It's almost what I hear you say is almost as if people are looking for this clash. How did that happen? Why did we get into this? It's worldwide, it's not only the Netherlands. Why did we get into this mess in which, people are actually looking for the clash?
Well, it seems like tension has been building up over the years over all kinds of small things, and people just have a very short fuse nowadays. I mean, they can't respect each other, they can't respect each other's views, and you don't have to agree, but you can always stay polite, right?
And that's a major thing. I think we've lost politeness altogether, haven't we?
Well, if I see how well, you know that things go in the Netherlands with our Zwarte Pieten
Yeah.
discussion.
Yes.
I mean, you can think whatever you like, but you can still be polite, and those demonstrations and throwing stuff at each other, and it, I think somewhere along the road, people were no longer raised properly. I mean, my parents wouldn't have accepted that from me.
Neither
And I
would have
think your
mine. Yes.
parents wouldn't.
Exactly.
Right. So, and my father was a teacher, and he usually said, nowadays people expect us to raise their children, but that's not our job. That's the job from the parents. And I think he was right. People are just not raised properly. You can still disagree, but stay polite and respect each other's opinion.
Point made. Point made. Ruud Jellema is joining us, telling us the sound is much better. I agree with that. And he also says, Annemieke, which is question number 4, I asked you no more church or no more Livestrong work. And Ruud says, the choice between the two is impossible. They are the same thing. You asked me to elaborate on question number 4. Here's your chance.
He's totally right. He knows me, right?
Yeah.
Ruud is the reverend in the church I go to. He's also my boss, and he's also a friend. So, no more Livestrong, no more. I think that what the church teaches us is to be there for other people. And to act in a way that you can help other people any way possible. And it doesn't have to be with grand gestures or stuff like that, but just be kind. Make sure that you meet somebody's needs. And I think, well, you lived through that. That Livestrong is exactly doing that. We're trying to be there for people going through cancer, help them with the things they need when they're still in the fight for their lives, which makes us different from other cancer societies. We focus on the people going through the disease right now.
Right.
We don't necessarily focus on just raising funds to find a cure, which is terribly important. But we focus on the people that are in need of help and attention now.
Now, exactly.
That is exactly what our church teaches us.
So
it
is the same. Yes, I know it was very mean.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
yes,
you did choose to drop Livestrong and continue church when I put you on the spot. But
yes.
I hear what you're saying. I hear it for you, at least it comes from the same place in your heart. It's your need to be there for other people. Now Livestrong.
To pay back.
And to pay back, but you've paid already. Why do you feel the need to pay back, Annemieke? You've paid so much already.
Because there are so many. Well, I kind of disagree with I paid so much. I have some bad luck. I won't deny that, and I'm not always happy with that. But there's so many people of way worse than I am that you can always pay back. There's always somebody who needs help more than you do.
So I need to understand where that, because it takes strength to see things the way you do, and to recognize your place in the entirety of things. Where does that knowledge come from within you? Who taught you that, or what experience did you have? Your dad. Tell us about that.
My dad was a teacher, as I told you, and he worked at a school that had a boarding school as well. So children staying over, which were mostly children of people with great education, doctors, advocates, stuff like that. And these children couldn't learn. They were great with their hands and stuff like that, but they couldn't learn. So they wouldn't be a lawyer, or they wouldn't be a doctor, and they were put in that boarding school so their parents could say, well, he's in boarding school, blah, 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 you know that. but they weren't allowed back a lot. And from a very young age, I was taught by my dad that not everybody was as lucky as me to have a home to go to and friends to play with and to be able to do the things that you and I are thinking are completely normal.
Right.
One of the things he made me do at that time, it was made me do, was they had dancing lessons at that boarding school at Sunday afternoon. But it was a boys' school, right? So no girls. So my dad made me go there every Sunday afternoon, so to be one of the girls to dance there. And I really, really didn't want to go there. But it was very good to learn, like, do something for somebody else, make somebody else's life more pleasant by doing something you maybe don't like, but do it. And
what does that
in many ways?
So when you do what you say, does that also give you something back? The act of giving something that you really weren't feeling like giving, but you still give it. Does that give you something?
It made me realize, and it still does make me realize that is why we are on this earth, to make life better for each other and not just to look out for yourself all the time. And I have been lucky. I have great people surrounding me doing the same thing for me.
Yeah. So that makes the circle complete.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Each one gives one and gets back in return from somebody else.
And it makes you a better person, and it makes you able to do more for somebody else.
Right.
Yes, I truly believe that. Yeah.
I think I agree. I'm not sure that I can always do the stuff I think I should be doing, but I try. At least I try. Is that a disclaimer?
You do. In my way, I'm sure you do. Yes.
So we've been mentioning Livestrong for a while now, and not everybody knows what Livestrong is. Livestrong is a foundation started by, the world knows him as a cyclist, Lance Armstrong. Yes. And before we get into the good work he does now, we must linger on let's call it the scandal that surrounded him at a certain time. He was accused of, and I think it was proven, and he admitted it, of using doping during the many times that he won the world famous Tour de France, that cyclist event that's on every summer. I have a little clip of him confessing to Oprah Winfrey, and I suggest we watch that together. Here we go.
Yes.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
Yes or no? Was one of those banned substances EPO?
Yes.
Did you ever blood dope or use blood transfusions to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
Did you ever use any other banned substances like testosterone, cortisone, or human growth hormone?
Yes.
Yes or no? In all 7 of your Tour de France victories, did you ever take banned substances or blood dope?
Yes.
In your opinion, was it humanly possible to win the Tour de France without doping 7 times in a row?
Not in my opinion.
So Annemieke, to me, this is very gutsy for him to come out and confess in this way. I know he must be some kind of big hero to you. How did this make you feel when this happened, first of all, when he was accused, and the repercussions that came from it?
Like everybody else, it made me sad. We saw Lance every year. At that time, we had an annual meeting with all Livestrong leaders or all Livestrong champions in Austin, and we saw him there. And he was very friendly to all of us, and he knew most of us, and he knew about what we did and where we came from. He was a very charismatic man. I mean, if anyone can inspire you to do something for someone with cancer, it's Lance. And so it was very sad that it happened. And but I think here in the Netherlands, the impact was less than in the United States because we are a cycling country, right?
Yeah.
We, Belgium, we're cyclists. And over here, the main response was, yeah, people knew. And people said everybody did that, so he didn't do anything else as everybody else.
Mm.
And we were able to separate the cyclist from the cancer warrior quite quickly. In the
Right.
United States, that was totally different. It almost broke Livestrong, because that's why when he stepped back from the foundation, so he wouldn't be, they wouldn't be connected with him anymore, which was, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many of my fellow leaders at that point, a big loss for Livestrong, because he raised millions by himself, and he was known to do a lot of visits in hospitals without cameras and press there, just being the cancer survivor visiting another cancer survivor. And he inspired us. But it wasn't easy for Livestrong, and it took us some years to come back from that and be able to do what we do.
Yeah.
But I think we always must remember that the fact that Livestrong is so successful and so different from all the other cancer societies is due to Lens, because it was set up in his view of what people going through cancer missed, the things he missed when he was diagnosed. And he wanted us to focus on the people still in the fight for their life and not just making money.
Exactly.
So the ideals that Livestrong has come from him. And for me, he's still the one who made it possible and inspired that. And he inspired me to walk.
He inspired you to walk. Hold that thought. Change your microphone back to number 2, if you please. And while you do that, Annemieke, you've been telling us a little bit about what kind of person he is and what kind of foundation Livestrong is and what they do. And they actually have a manifesto, of which I'm taking a clip to show everybody so people know a little bit more about Livestrong. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, thank you.
This is the Lance Armstrong Foundation. We kick in the moment you're diagnosed.
We help you accept the tears. Acknowledge the rage.
We believe in your right to live without pain.
We believe in information, not pity. And in straight, open talk about cancer.
With husbands, wives, and partners,
kids, friends, and neighbors.
and the people you live with, work with, cry, and laugh with.
This is no time to pull punches. You're in the fight of your life.
So it's moving to see. And I guess it shows what you mean when you say you need to take care of cancer patients now instead of only think about the money.
Yes.
So what you've been among cancer patients. This is once again how you met my sister Aisha. You went to her house. You didn't know her personally. You just brought her joy. I remember it took you hours to get there with your crutches and your whatever. And what does it bring, do you think, to a cancer patient to be seen in the moment?
I think that they realize that people do care about how they feel now and their needs on this moment, and not after they're cured or maybe like your sister, unfortunately, run out of time and don't get cured.
Hmm.
But be seen as a whole person despite their illness. We see the people and not the illness.
Yeah.
And we try to help them cope with the consequences. Well, the manifesto said so. We
Yes.
try to help them cope with the consequences of that illness,
Yeah.
which doesn't affect just the person with, you know, that it affects the entire family.
Exactly. It does. And I find myself in these times, people tend to talk about fighting cancer. And to me, that always sounds like people who actually didn't survive, that they are losers. What do
No,
you think about that?
no, 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 no. People that we don't, at least when we say they ran out of time.
That's a
They
better
ran
way
out
to
of
put it.
time,
Yes.
yes.
Hmm.
We mean they ran out of time to wait for a cure.
Yeah.
But you do fight cancer. And whether you survive or not, it is a battle for your
Hmm.
life.
Hmm.
And people that don't survive, they have, yeah, to put it brutally, they have bad luck.
That
They
bad
ran
luck.
out of time
Mhm.
waiting for a cure.
Yeah.
And I know they're not losers, definitely not. I mean, the most brave people I know are people who unfortunately ran out of time. Your sister was one of them.
She was, and maybe it's just a feeling I have, but she did fight till the very last drop,
She
and
did.
yeah, and she
And
meant so much to so many people, even when she was lying on her bed and couldn't move anymore. She
she
meant so
made
much
a,
to so many
she
people.
made such an impression on me.
Mhm.
And um, I have seen many people with cancer in the years that I worked for LiveStrong. But your sister and your family, by the way, not just Aisha, but
Mhm.
you and your siblings made a lasting impression on me.
Oh,
Because
thank
I
you.
think it was so beautiful to see that she could stay at home because you and your siblings were there for her 24/7, always.
And my
That was,
mom, I must
and
always
your
say
mom,
my mom,
and your
because
mom. Yes, your mom too, of course.
yes, mom,
I,
mom,
how
mom
can
did
I
the brunt
forget
of the
her? She
things.
was there,
Yes,
yes. But you and your siblings were there too.
yeah.
And you don't realize how special it is for a cancer survivor. We call everyone a cancer survivor, right? From the
Mhm.
moment they're diagnosed, they're survivors. For a cancer survivor to have a family that allows them to stay at home,
Yeah,
don't need to be in a hospital or a hospice at the end, but
exactly.
being in your own home, surrounded by the people you love and who care for you. Your family made an everlasting impression on me.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That it really means a lot. It really does. Please switch back to the other mic again, Annemieke. We're going to do the yo-yo on the mic. Uh,
I'm getting so good at this.
you are, and it seems like you get like a 7-minute window in which the microphone sounds all right.
Well, like this one good now?
Oh, it sounds fantastic for now. So stay tuned,
Here
and
we
I
go
might.
again.
Here we go again. Um, let's move back to you and Lance Armstrong. This is a lovely picture of the both of you together. And you told me that. What did you tell me? He got you back to walking.
He got me walking.
How?
After the accident, I saw when I was in the hospital recovering from operation number I don't know which one. I saw him and a documentary about him and how he fought his way back from, because he had, that was a very close call, very close.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing him back on that bike, riding the Tour de France with or without EPO, I really don't care, but the tenacity, the willpower, and the strength of coming back from near death to winning the Tour de France, I'm like, if he can do that, I should be able to walk again. So he was my example, my shining light. Like, if he can do that, I should be able to walk again.
And
So
does he know this about you? Did you
he
tell
know
him?
that.
Yeah.
Yes, and Livestrong knows that. That's the main reason I joined Livestrong,
Yeah.
was to pay him back,
To pay him back, right?
saying thank you for giving me the inspiration to do the work and keep walking.
Right.
Yes.
So this is you and your yellow family is what you call them.
Yes.
These
Yes.
are all live-strong people. These are all people like yourself who put in time and effort to do a bunch of things. What is it you do?
We do a lot of things, and depending on where we are, that differs. My Japanese colleagues have collided with the Japanese Cancer Society and do lots of events.
Mhm.
But we also have people like me who are alone in the country. Hey? I'm the only Livestrong champion left in the Netherlands.
Are you?
Well, yes, I'm the only one left now. What I do is I teach a spinning class for survivors 2 days a week, and follow that by a peer talk. I go to schools when I'm asked if we have a beautiful program called Livestrong at School. So schools call me if they have a class in which a child has cancer or a parent has cancer and children have problem dealing with that. So we help them through that program with knowing what is happening and what the child is going through, what the family is going through. We did do lots of events at cycling matches, but that's cycling races. That's gone a bit, but I'm always there for people to give me a call. I work at oncology wards as a volunteer, that kind of stuff, and make people know that what we do and how we can help them.
Right. And then there's also that annual event in which, let's go. Sorry, before we get to that, this is when we actually met Annemieke. This is Aisha.
Yes.
In her bed.
Beautiful.
And
yes.
I think you then came to tell her that you would be cycling in her honor.
Yes, I gave her the in honor of card. That's what we have. We have in honor of cards, in memory of, and another one. In honor.
In memory of and in honor of. And
yes. And later on, I had to change that, unfortunately, to in memory of, in honor of. And what we do is we pin those cards on our cycling jersey. And then we write in honor of those who can't ride themselves. That's how we call it. When I still had my own bike, I had a yellow band on the stem of my bike, symbolizing the people that can't ride for themselves anymore.
Yes.
So that's what we did. And that's, of course, a fundraising event because no matter how you turn it, we do a lot for people in the fight of their life, but we need money to do it.
And this is in the States, is it? It's in
This
Austin?
is in Austin, in Lance's hometown.
Right.
And that's an amazing event. Last year marks the 25th anniversary of Livestrong. This year marks the 25th anniversary of Livestrong. And the Ride for the Roses, that's what it's called. That's a Livestrong thing. Because the first Ride for the Roses was held on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That's where the name came from. And we do that every year. And it's a great getting together and seeing all friends and yellow family members. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to go the last 2 years. And sometimes Austin is a long way and it's very expensive. Yes. I can't make it every year. But I try to.
And it's so very touching because whenever you've been able to go, you've never forgotten about our Aisha. And I know there's many other people you ride for. But I wonder if you realize what it means to me in the morning to, open up my Twitter or open up my Facebook and see that you're doing it again and you've never forgotten. And do you realize what that means? I just want to make you know.
Not always, because to me, it's such a small thing to do. I mean, I honor Aisha because she was a beautiful person and we lost her way too soon. And we have I lost my uncle, I lost my niece, I lost many people. But other people who come to when we had stands at events, people could fill out those cards for people they cared for. And we took that with us and we hang them on the honor wall. And Aisha is always in my heart. Whenever I do a LIVESTRONG event, she's always there. I will never forget to put her name down. She will always be there.
Well, this is as good an opportunity as any to tell you thank you for that, Annemieke, because that is something I really feel it, and it really touches me, and I think it's a beautiful thing that you do. And I just want to be official about it and tell you thank you, and also to all your, your yellow family, thank them too for doing what they do, because it means the world to survivors.
Well, that's good to hear, because as I said, it's not just a person with cancer. It affects the whole family.
It does. And the fact that you remember takes a weight off my shoulder, so to speak.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Really.
Well, let me see some comments coming in. Oh, here's Evelyn Bruce saying you were a topwijf, and the topwijf means you're just a-okay. You're on top of everything. Hi, Evelyn. Thanks for watching. There's more that you do for LIVESTRONG, because here we are. We see you as a moderator. What? I know you're a moderator, and I assume this is what you're doing. What is this we're seeing?
No, this was very special. The left one, the one with my yellow jersey on, that was me on a LIVESTRONG leader meeting, telling new young leaders who kind of are searching for a way to find their role, and planning events. And I told them about the first event I did by myself, which was very simple, which was on LIVESTRONG Day. And I went to all the shops in the main street of my village, and I gave them yellow balloons and yellow stringers and LIVESTRONG folders, and I asked them to put them in the windows on LIVESTRONG Day. Gave them the cards you saw for people to fill out. So that day, the entire street was yellow.
Wow.
All dedicated to people with cancer, which is quite easy to do. So young leaders learned, like, it doesn't have to be an event that draws thousands of people. You can make a difference in a very simple way.
I believe you might even have a little bit more impact if you keep it small, because everybody feels like they're part of it.
Yeah, and people notice. I mean, we are lucky. Yellow is our color, which is a very bright and vibrant color. So that makes the street looked awesome that day, really.
Fantastic.
And the other one is me teaching at a university where my American brother-in-law, as I call him, Sue's husband, is a professor there. And I did teach them about nonprofit organizations and social media, how to use social media to get the message out, to raise funds, to reach people, and how that works for nonprofit organizations. Wow. That was a very cool thing to do. Yeah, Bryant University, I loved it.
So this is you making a total switch. All of a sudden, you're a public speaker,
yes.
which is my line of work. How did you adjust?
I love to do it, and it was kind of scary at first, because I'm not like you, but I can talk LIVESTRONG any day. I mean, that's in my heart, and I believe in that, so that's easy.
Right.
And the social media, we use it a lot to get the word out. So.
Exactly. Here's some more comments. Evelyn Bruce is saying she's in awe of the combination of your strength and softness, which is a great way to put it. I wish I'd come up with it. And my eldest sister, Adrienne, says, thank you for keeping our Aisha alive. It does mean the world to me. So you see, I'm not the only one. In the meantime, switch back to the other microphone, if you will. Maybe try number 1 for a change. See how that goes.
Let's try number 1.
Yeah, we just
we have some choices. Let's try another one.
Yes.
Yes, I changed. Better for the start?
No. Try number 2. Yes.
Number 1 is not running. Let's try 2. Yeah.
This is number 2?
This is 2.
Okay. I'm not too thrilled about it. Move back to 3, if you will.
Yes.
3 is always the best, but it doesn't last.
It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, this is
We got it.
It's nothing to do with your stuff this time. Here's Ruud saying something about you. Annemieke has so many talents. If needed, they must come up. What do you think Ruud means? Ruud, by the way, I know you wanted to be there with Annemieke today, and I know you're confined to your home because somebody else had COVID. So I appreciate everything you do for us for this program, Ruud. Annemieke, respond to what Ruud has to say. If needed, they must just come up.
They just come up.
Your talents.
Well, I think that means that whatever the question is or the problem that needs to be solved, the creative part from our childhood is still there, I think, and I usually find a way to make things work.
Right.
But I have a great role model, but he doesn't like to hear that.
Well, now is the time because nobody can answer. Anything you want to say, you can say it now, Annemieke, and it will be on record.
Yeah, well, I mean, he makes me a compliment, but he's the role model I look up to. Him and the Catholic priest of my youth, Leo Testers, are both men that are able, I always call it, to live their faith, and that's amazing to see, and that inspires me to do better. So. He doesn't like to hear it, but it's true.
It's out there now. Ruud, you just have to deal with it. He says, thank you. I'm not sure it's about this, but I'll take it. It's for this. Your faith is something we will touch on in just a little bit. But you mentioned the spinning classes that you did. Let me see if we can get that up. Where is the thing? Hold on. Yeah. This is
my beautiful bike.
Your beautiful bike. Spinning classes is you on a bike. The bike doesn't move, but you do a lot of exercises, right?
Yes. Yes.
Is this the bike you used to do them on?
No.
No.
This was my road bike. As you see, there is the yellow band on the stem, symbolizing the ones that can't ride the bike anymore. This was my road bike, and I had to sell it to go to Austin one year. And it still hurts. It was beautiful. It was specially made for me. The bike not, but the Livestrong and the yellow. And that was a present from a beautiful man that owns a cycling shop in my hometown. But spinning has special bikes. So, and most of my survivors, if they can't come to the gym where we do that, they use home trainers, because spinning classes for people, for survivors, are not like regular spinning. The idea is the same, but people in treatment or just out of treatment are not strong enough to
sit
do
on a bike.
all those, and do those great changes in tempo and stuff like that.
Right.
So we do a spinning class, but it's especially made for people with cancer.
So how does that
this is still my beautiful bike?
Yes, we're going to talk about the bike because you kind of bleeped over it. But first, I need to know, in spinning, how does that shattered leg of yours hold up when you lead that class?
It's not pleasant, but it's a thing, I mean, the leg hurts anyways 24/7. So it never held me back because it hurts anyway.
It hurts anyway.
If it hurts a bit more doing this kind of things, so be it.
You're an inspiration. So you sold this beautiful bike that was given to you by Livestrong. That must have been your pride and glory. And you sold it so you could go to Austin to ride for in honor of people suffering from cancer.
Yes.
That makes you the Holy Virgin Annemieke.
No, it doesn't. But it was the only way to get there. So it hurted a bit, but still have the pictures.
Well, in order for this kind of thing never to happen again, I'm going to do something I hardly ever do. I'm going to put up your bank account number. People,
that's
just
sweet.
Donate to this bank account. Take a screenshot now, people. Take your screenshots now. And then you can donate to Annemieke anything that you can spare from your pocket. Donate to Annemieke so she can continue doing this work, because it's important to her. And more importantly, it's important to the people she does it for. So everybody got their screenshot? I believe you do. it's time now for us to talk about that one subject that we have been saying we would be talk about. Let's talk about church. What does it mean to you? Tell us about what we're seeing here, Annemieke.
What you see is on the left, the beautiful church at work, where we are right now, in the rectory of the church, which is the church that I go to every Sunday, where we do services. Ruud, as you see, is in the middle on the top.
That's Ruud Jellema that we just
Yes.
talked about, the one who's telling us he'll
Yes.
deal with it. It's good vibes. Yes, Ruud. Yes. So
Good.
that's the priest that inspires you so much.
Yes, and because as you might know, I work at a psychiatric hospital. I'm a management assistant there. So the people in the church are mostly our clients who come from all kinds of religions. But our services are so beautiful that everybody feels at home. I mean, we have a beautiful statue of the Holy Virgin, who's important to me. As you know, you see my own statue as well.
In the middle of the night, I see you do your 2 Hail Marys online every night.
Always, yes. So that's important to me. We have that, and we have, well, if Eucumene didn't exist, we would have invented it. I mean, it's beautiful, and those services inspire people to do. To realize how well off we are, because our patients mostly are people that have lived almost their entire life in that hospital.
Wow!
And we do have now some young Ruud in his capacity as at our work, not only a reverend, but what we call a spiritual worker.
Yeah,
goes to all the teams and talks to patients and stuff like that. So we see younger people join the church now because they get to know him.
Well, that's very interesting, because I know in the Netherlands churches are emptying out. They are becoming cafes for people to drink coffee, and you're telling me this church is actually filling up with younger people who come because they talk to him and they feel that they're welcome there no matter what. Yeah,
everybody's welcome there, and everybody is good enough to be there. And our services are regular services with one big distinction, is that some of our patients, they just talk back during service, right? If service starts, they can tell whatever they have on their mind. We have a special moment for that, in which Ruud asks them what lives in their heart at that moment, and they can say whatever they have on their mind. But during service as well, and that makes for such a beautiful congregation. It makes you grateful to be able to be there and to realize once again how well off we all are, because we have a home to go to.
Yes.
And we
and a
have
family.
And a family to go to. And some of our clients do have family, but many are there by themselves.
Yeah.
And a mental illness is difficult. That gives you an enormous stigma. I mean, you can bet you're better off walking on crutches, because people see that. And our patients are crazy, right?
Yes.
Which they're not. I told you. I just walked into my office and one of our clients said, "Are you going to church? Can I come with you?" It's beautiful to be able to work at a place where you're in direct contact with the clients, and they're amazing people.
Fully agree.
So, yeah.
In the bottom middle picture, we see you doing music again.
Yes, I'm singing at the church every once in a while. And this is with one of our beautiful volunteers at the church, Henk Bijen, who plays the guitar beautifully. And every once in a while we get together and we sing at service. And every once in a while I'll do it by myself if it's Holy Virgin related service.
Exactly. So let's touch on the Holy Virgin. That sounds a bit weird, but you know what I mean. Within the Catholic religion, Virgin Mary has a special role, but I want to know, why is it that she is so important to you? what is it that Virgin Mary brings you, Annemieke?
That's the place. It's kind of how I was raised. My mother and my grandmother were both very Maria orientated, Holy Virgin orientated. My grandmother very, very much. She lost a daughter during World War II. And I think that turning to the Holy Virgin was the one thing that kept her from going insane. My mom inherited that, and I guess I inherited that too. And for me, it's the place to go to if I have problems. I go there, I sing there, I pray there, and I put it at her feet and ask for her help. And that helps me. That helps me. That gives me strength.
Does it help that she's a woman? Because so much of
I
religion
think
is all
she's a
men.
mother.
She's a mother.
Yeah, she's a mother. She's a mother figure,
Yeah.
and I think that does help. So it's for me, it's the place to go. When I got out of the intensive care after my first multiple pulmonary embolisms, that was where I went to say thank you. I made it. I lived through it.
Yeah. And you continue doing that. Like I say, I see you in the middle of the night doing your 2 Hail Marys. What's the phrase you use? Can you the tweet you write? What is it? You went to chapel?
I go to chapel every day and sing 3 songs dedicated to the Holy Virgin, so she keeps the people that I care for safe.
Wow. And you do that every single day?
And I do every single day. And when I'm at home, before I go to bed, I pray my rosary for the same reason.
I think it's fascinating what you have to tell us, Annemieke. And I'm really quite inspired by you, as you know. You and I don't know each other very well personally, but over the years on social media, we've gotten a look into each other's lives. And the one thing that strikes me is the accident that you had that shattered your leg was actually on my birthday. So it's like you and I are somehow meant to be friends. Do you feel the same?
Yes, I feel exactly the same. And I treasure your friendship. Yes. And people can say that's not friendship, but yes, it is. It is very important to me. And it is. Yes.
Well, the same goes for me.
I'm grateful for you.
Thank you for that. And the same goes your way, of course. I'm curious to know, I'm looking at the clock, Annemieke. Look at the time we've been talking.
Oh.
What are your immediate plans? Anything coming up maybe this week? No, we're in lockdown, aren't you? No, Netherlands are going out of lockdown.
No, it's going to be lifted. No, I'm going to be taking it. I'm very deeply ashamed to say, but I've been kind of busy, so I still have to take my Christmas decorations down. So I guess I'm going to be doing that.
It's a crazy year anyway, so you do whatever you want to do. So you're going to take down the Christmas decorations, and then what? What's up next?
Back to work.
Yeah, on Monday.
On Monday, and back to the spinning classes and the volunteer shifts and visiting friends. I have a great life.
Have you got your money in place this time for your spinning classes? Let's put that up again for the
Not
people.
Quite.
Well,
Not
let's put
quite,
it back up for the people who would like to donate, so you can continue doing that voluntary work. People always want to know, what do you spend their money on? If I donate €20, what good does that help?
That helps because the place where I do my spinning classes is not expensive. That man has lost his wife to cancer, so he gives us the spinning class room, but we have a peer talk afterwards, and I pay for the room. I pay like €2.50 a week, which is nothing. And then we have to pay a little bit extra for the coffee and tea during the peer talk. And the peer talk is also very important for the participants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what kind of amount of money do you need to continue doing this on a yearly basis? What does it cost you on a yearly basis? Yes.
Usually it's about €500 to €600.
€500 to €600. It isn't.
Which isn't bad for 2 times 2 hours. That's 4 hours a week.
Exactly.
So that we're so grateful to that man, but he has his expenses too, and I get that. But this
get that
time is
too.
difficult. Yeah.
Yes. So let's hope that the donations keep pouring in now, Annemieke, and let me see.
Let's
There's
hope
a new. There's Ruth saying what a beautiful conversation, and thank you for watching, Ruth, and God bless you too. And I hope you get released from your COVID prison soon. It's wonderful to have him support you
Tuesday.
this way. Tuesday. Just a couple of days.
Yes.
While Annemieke takes down her Christmas decorations, you just read a book, Ruth, and Tuesday you'll be back out. Yeah. Annemieke, it's almost. Oh, here's Maria saying thank you to both of us. Thank you, Maria, for watching. Let me remind the people quickly what's coming up next month. Let me see. I need to do a couple of things for that to work. Next month, I will have a very special guest again. I only had special guests, only highly intelligent and highly sensitive people. At the end of this month, on the 28th of January, I will be joined by my school friend from when I was in a French school in Tunisia, Tarek Msadek, who became a hotshot molecular biologist who is now who leads the Institut Pasteur in Paris. And it's been ages ago since we properly saw, and I can hardly wait until I talk to him again. So that will be in 2 weeks' time, remember, the 28th of January at 6 o'clock Central European time, my talk with Tarek and Sadek. I will be spamming you with that, of course, as I usually do. Annemieke, I guess that's it for now. I have one last thing that I like to end with. Last time when we tried and we had all those tech difficulties, I showed a spinning class, but I thought today I'd make it a bit more special because I chose something that I'm sure is close to your heart. They are called King's Return Music, and they walked up a staircase because the acoustics there were so very special. And it's 4 black gentlemen, and they recorded Ave Maria.
Awesome.
Would you like me to end with that?
That would be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything you would like to say before I start that? Anything you would like to end with?
I would thank you for giving me this opportunity, and it was awesome talking to you, but it always is. Thank you so much, and let's dedicate this to your beautiful sister.
Let us, and thank you. Stay in the orange room while I play out with the music, and when I end the broadcast, you and I have a short chat without everybody watching us. Thank you, Annemieke.
Yes,
stay there,
thank
and
you,
here
Violet.
is Ave Maria by King's Return Music to end. I need to do one more thing before I start that. Oh, so much to think about always. Here we go with King's Return Music and Ave Maria. Thank you again, Annemieke.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Oh.